I love Bhindi Do Pyaza. Do Pyaza means onion used in two different ways in the same dish. You need young, tender okra, also known as bhindi or ladyfinger for this dish. Tender is when you can just, with your thumb, break the tail. It just snaps. Now you top and tail all of them with a knife, and then you cut only the big ones into two. Make sure no water comes in contact with this. Use only a dry cloth to wipe them clean. Water will make these gummy. You need a very large wide skillet to cook these in. Whenever you're cooking bhindi, remember to use an oversized dish. It allows the bhindi to breathe and it prevents it from becoming gummy. Now I heat some mustard oil and some vegetable oil in a very wide skillet. Add some haldi to that hot oil. Followed by this, add some red chilli powder. I want to create some rogan, some color and some flavor in that oil. Now when on high heat, this oil becomes very hot, I am going to add my okra to this. I'm going to scald it first to seal it in, and after that I'm going to continue cooking it on a slightly lower flame. Toss it really well, allow it to blister on all sides, and then lower the flame and cook it. This is important because you want to prevent these okra from getting gummy. Spread them out as evenly as possible. The more evenly you spread them out, you will find that they will cook also evenly. Now you can see why I have used a wide skillet. This is very important. Stir them around from time to time to make sure that they all cook evenly. Then spread them about so that they're all in one even line. You don't want one on top of the other too much because then some cook more and the others don't cook. Now continue to cook these. You will see that slowly they will begin to turn a golden brown. Take a look, the color has darkened. The mustard oil brings a lot of flavor to Bhindi Do Pyaza. I feel that if you make it without mustard oil, you do not get the same umami. You can use less mustard oil if you prefer and use more vegetable oil, but I think you do need some. Now take your onions, slice them in half, peel them, then quarter them, and start to shell the onions to remove petals of the onion. Quartered petals, as you can see. Once you remove the okra, throw your onion petals into a very hot pan. You don't need extra oil. You want to smoke and blister these. Right? So the key here is use less oil, use the heat from the pan and blister them until they get smoky. You want to leave them just a little bit crunchy. Your okra should be soft, but your onion petals should be just a little bit crunchy. Then throw in your quartered tomatoes. Put in the tomatoes only once the onions are more or less done because you don't want the temperature to fall on the onions to stop cooking when you throw in the tomatoes. Right? And the tomatoes have a certain amount of liquid, so keep the tomatoes in large pieces. Don't cut them very small. One tomato into 4 or 6 pieces. For the masala, quickly puree some onions. This is the second way in which we're using onions here, as you can see. Add tomatoes, add some yogurt, add some green chillies and some garlic ginger paste and puree this until it is completely smooth. If there are little bits and pieces, it doesn't really matter so much. Now this is why I call it a home style, because I use a shortcut method. The dhaba style Bhindi Do Pyaza has a lot more spices. The method has several more complex steps. This is a simpler version, uses less oil, and it's a drier Bhindi Do Pyaza, but it's something that you can make more easily at home. Now once you've pureed this, heat a little more mustard oil, not a lot, just a little, and some vegetable oil. Add some methi seeds to it and add some akha jeera or whole cumin seeds to it. When these start to sizzle and become aromatic and golden, add your liquid pureed masala to this. It's going to sizzle, it's going to pop. I also add 2 green chillies. Now you can remove these green chillies later in case someone mistakes them for okra and swallows them whole, but they bring a lot of flavor to the masala quickly. Now this part requires you to cook this masala until all the water has evaporated from it and the oil begins to leave the sides. This requires a fair bit of cooking, scraping, etc., but it's not a lot of masala, so it doesn't take too long. Continue to cook it. You can add a little bit more haldi and red chilli powder if you want it slightly spicier. But I remember we've added some green chilies to the pureed masala already. Now add your bhindi into that dry masala. Stir it, add some salt, some garam masala. Continue to stir for a while, scrape the bottoms. Allow the bhindi some time to cook in the masala. When it's pretty much done, add your onions as well as your sauteed tomatoes. Add a little sugar to balance out the flavors. And your Bhindi Do Pyaza is ready. I do not put chopped coriander on this. I don't feel that it really works for this dish. At least that's to my taste. But if you like it, nothing to stop you from doing so. I like to serve this generally with rotis or chapatis or pulkas. Tastes best, and maybe a little dal and rice on the side. I cannot even tell you how delicious this is. and much less oil than a dhaba version.